Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for watching another video. Today I want to give you 3 reasons why people hate Glock and 1 big reason why those reasons don't matter. Let's get going. Alright, so what we have here is your run-of-the-mill Glock 17 Gen 5. We can tell because of the cocking serrations in the front. And this is now the 3rd time that I've bought a Glock 17. And it's just because whenever I buy one, I end up saying to myself, I'm not happy with it. And it's so incredibly frustrating that Glock keeps making its way back into my rotation. It's like the cat that came back the very next day. It's like being in a relationship that you're not fully into, maybe percentage-wise, maybe you're like 80% into the person because they're relatively good looking, they're very stable, they got a good job, you know, they're not a total scrub, but then you meet this other person that is just totally lights out and you got that spark, but you tend to stay on the side that's safer. And that's what this represents to me. It's just Old Faithful. All right, reason number 1, I don't like how blocky and square the slide looks. Now, some people love it. They love that very minimalistic look of it. I just mentally, whenever I picture myself shooting it, I just cringe at it. And up until recently, all the generations before Gen 5, they didn't have bevels in the front. They didn't have the front cocking serrations, and it just didn't look like a very fun pistol to shoot. Especially when you compare it to pistols like CZ, Walther, Canik, HK. You got a simple bevel here, and it starts off thicker and comes right down more narrow here, drawing your eye down to the front post here, the front sight. Simple beveling in the front. And it really makes the Glock look very vanilla, like a 1990s Camry, versus a newer one. All right, reason number 2 is this grip angle. Not only does it make it look funny, but when you grip onto it, it just doesn't feel natural. Now, people that train with Glock, they're not even going to notice it because, of course, through repetition, you're not going to notice it. But this 22-degree angle is slanted more this way. When you compare it to something like the CZ, again, it's a little bit more straight up and down. This is anywhere between, I would say, 15 to 18 degrees. And to me, more of a straight up and down grip angle is more comfortable. So, when I'm pulling this out and shooting it again for the first time, it just feels very unnatural and uncomfortable with this 22-degree grip angle. And the 3rd and last reason I just can't fall in love with Glock is their triggers. Now, the Gen 5 trigger is the best one, in my opinion, that they've had, but it's still very soft and spongy and muted. So just for example, you see that? There's a lot of resistance when getting it to the first wall. So here's the first wall. I'm going to go real slow. You see all that take up, Now, the reset is not bad. Okay, and back on it. Reset's not bad, but when you compare it to other triggers, like on the Walther PPQ, the CZ-P10C, or even all of the Caniks, I'm sure that's cocked. See, it's a smooth adventure to the first wall, and not a lot of creep there. Here's the reset, really short, and back on it. And I just don't understand why Glock doesn't just improve that trigger to be as good as the other brands. Now, those are all great reasons why people may not like Glock, and for the most part, I agree with them. However, I'm going to tell you that when you're actually at the range and you're practicing, and you decide to flip that light switch and you punch out the pistol like this, yeah, you can see the back of the slide here is square, but when you're looking down that sight picture, you're really focusing on the 2 dots and the post in the front, and the squareness, the Glock blockiness of it, it really disappears. And although when you're dry firing, you can tell that there's a difference in the quality of the trigger, how crisp it is, how easy it is to get to the first wall, when you're actually shooting at the range, your adrenaline is going so hard. Even if you're in that non-stressful situation, the mere act of shooting a gun really gets your adrenaline going. And for me, I don't really feel the difference in trigger, and performance-wise, there's almost zero difference. It's almost identical. And then lastly, this grip angle, as I mentioned before, the more that you train with the Glock, the less irritating it is to grip onto this grip. And of course, the more you bear down on it, the less weird it feels. So really, those 3 dislikes actually melt away when you're actually practicing. Alright, here's the main reason I bought another Glock 17. Even though I just told you those 3 dislikes kind of melt away when you're doing practical shooting, for me the most important thing about having a Glock as part of your major lineup is the cross compatibility you have with magazines. Just for example, if I want to take this Glock 17 and fit it into this MCK brace, I can totally do that. Or if I want to put it in my AR-9, I can just have a whole bunch of Glock magazines and have it be compatible with those different types of platforms. I can load up a vest with all Glock magazines, a gun belt with all Glock magazines, and have that as a home self-defense kit and not have to worry about over-penetration and it passing through walls into the homes on the side of me. So for me, the ability to have all the same magazines through those 3 different platforms, and not to mention you pick up just a plethora of different accessories that you can buy, and it's very easy to work on Glocks. For those reasons, really, I think the dislikes are totally minor, and it's worth having a Glock 17 as part of your lineup, even though you may not totally be in love with it. Alright guys, that's the ending of the video. I'll catch you in the next one.